The Federal and City Union Bank jointly present the Tanjavur Marathon 2025 on Sunday, February 23. This event is powered by Sri Kamachi Medical Center and Anandam Silks and organized by Tanjavur District Athletics Association.
Hello and welcome to the Federal. The people of Delhi have spoken and BJP is back in power after 27 years. We have with us Dr. Sandeep Shastri, leading political analyst of the country, to decode the elections for us. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Shastri.
Thank you. It's my
So my first question is, some of the top leaders of AAP, including Chief Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia, have lost the elections. What are the main reasons, according to you, for this kind of debacle?
If you analyze the results today, it is undoubtedly a defeat for the Aam Aadmi Party after being in power for 10 years in Delhi. And within the Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal was like a central figure, the nucleus of the party, the chief strategist, the chief decision maker, and somebody who was seen to symbolize the party. And if you look at this election campaign, the AAP had made it as a campaign on Arvind Kejriwal and his credibility and his performance and what they would call his harassment. The BJP too had made it a campaign on Arvind Kejriwal, where they targeted him for his leadership and for the various what they would call excesses during his time in power. So in some senses, the electoral outcome is both a referendum on the leadership of Arvind Kejriwal as it is on the fatigue possibly which the people experienced after 10 years of the Aam Aadmi Party being in power. So it becomes very difficult to separate the defeat of the Aam Aadmi Party from the defeat of Arvind Kejriwal. Let's also remember one more point. One of the BJP's important political strategies over time has been that whenever challenging a key party, be it the Congress or be it the Aam Aadmi Party or even be it, let us say, a party like the Trinamool Congress, whenever challenging a party, not only have they challenged the party per se, they have also focused on the key leaders of that party who are contesting the election and put up very, very prominent faces to contest against those leaders, and quite often got those leaders defeated. So it has been part of the larger political strategy that the party has made use of.
So the BJP took a lot of steps. 8th Pay Commission was done. Then income tax rebates were done. What are the main reasons for you, according to you, that BJP has returned to power after a gap of 27 years?
There is, see, an electoral victory or an electoral defeat is never the byproduct of a single factor. There is always a basket of factors which have caused a electoral result. I'm increasingly getting convinced now that many electoral results are the direct consequences of the defeat of a party and, in a subsidiary way, the victory of a particular party. It is more the defeat of a party rather than the victory of a party. And to a certain extent, that holds good for the results that we have seen today. After 10 years in power, there clearly was a fatigue with the Aam Aadmi Party and a desire of the voter to be able to experiment with a possible alternative. Secondly, you would have noticed the Aam Aadmi Party itself has undergone a dramatic change in these 10 years. What began as a party which was part of the, which was born in the womb of the India Against Corruption movement, and then went on to declare that it was a alternative to mainstream politics, ultimately landed up as a alternative within mainstream politics and not to mainstream politics, and became a victim of many of the things it had challenged in order to come to power, or for which it was formed. So, in a sense, that transformation that you see in the Aam Aadmi Party also resulted possibly in a disillusionment with the party in terms of the rhetoric of promise and the reality of performance, if you could make that as another factor. Thirdly, I would say to a certain extent there was a credibility deficit, or a dramatic fall in what I would call the credibility quotient of the ruling party in terms of uh, what all the parties stood for, what all its leadership stood for, and what they actually performed. I would add now subsequent subsidiary factors also. I think the Congress was able to better its performance in terms of vote share, though it did not win a single seat. And this increase of the vote share of the Congress in many seats, especially where you have a very, very close contest, was at the cost of the Aam Aadmi Party and to the benefit of the BJP. And then to add to all this is the factor that the BJP, when in the opposition, is extremely aggressive, is extremely targeted with the party which it is challenging. And one saw that in the case of the Aam Aadmi Party also. Uh, Possibly the voters also believed that the consistent and continuous confrontation that the Aam Aadmi Party was having with the center was detrimental to the development of Delhi, and therefore thought maybe it could be a good idea to choose the same party to head both the government at the national level and in the state. So I would say it was a combination of all these factors, a constellation of all these different forces that ultimately contributed to the result that you have seen emerging today.
So the Aam Aadmi Party has lost the first election, lost for the first time. What is the future of Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi?
Now, let me add two caveats as I answer this question. Uh, I would be a little cautious in saying it is lost for the first time, because firstly, it lost the in 2014, 2019, and 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Secondly, as a political party, it lost the first major elections it contested in Punjab, and won only the second election it contested in Punjab. And it has also faced defeats in the main in states like Gujarat and the states like Goa. Now, you are right in saying that this was the first big defeat in Delhi in the state assembly elections. The first time you had a state assembly election, it was an assembly with nobody getting a majority. And the second and third time, they came to power with a clear majority. So, in that sense, after 2 terms in power, they have now been voted out. So, in that sense, yes, it is the first defeat in the state assembly elections in Delhi. And I think, again, a combination of the factors we have discussed earlier have contributed to it. Um, I would not write off a party, politically write the obituary of a party or its leaders. I think we have seen in the past parties and leaders which were swept out of power making a comeback after a period of time. We have seen leaders doing the same. So I would definitely call today's result a serious setback for the Aam Aadmi Party, and a much bigger setback for the Aam Aadmi Party's leadership. But then I think depending on how they strategize in the days ahead, both as an individual and as a party, I think the road ahead would, I mean, that strategy would define what would happen as they move in the years ahead.
So, do you think this loss in Delhi will have an impact in Punjab? Because Punjab will be witnessing elections very soon.
Now, a lot of people believed that the success in Punjab was on the piggyback of the good performance that was happening in Delhi. And many would also believe that the Chief Minister of Punjab is very much in place on behalf of the leadership of the party at the national level. So, yes, it definitely will have an impact on Punjab, especially in terms of how effectively does the party deliver on its promises there, because the government has faced serious challenges in Punjab to be able to take forward the promises. So, in the time remaining, how much do they actually focus on governance and effective performance would play a role. And of course, the setback for the party in Delhi would have political ripples in Punjab also, for sure.
So, my last question to you is, uh, this kind of an election defeat in Delhi of AAP, how will it impact the functioning of India alliance? Because
Now,
Maharashtra, Haryana.
now, I think the India coalition in important ways is at a crucial stage or a crucial moment. This alliance uh, saw its performance reach a peak, if you may, during the 2024 elections, where they declared that we had our alliances at the local level. And post the 2024 elections, we have really not seen this alliance hold very strongly, be it in
Mhm.
Haryana. To a certain extent, it worked in Jharkhand. We have not seen it succeed much, especially after the Jammu and Kashmir results. While it held on in Maharashtra, uh, the same could not be said of developments in Delhi. So, yes, post 2024 elections of the Lok Sabha, the India coalition has faced serious challenges. And what has happened after the Lok Sabha elections has been much of the deficits that the India coalition faced was laid at the doors of the Congress party, because it was said that the Congress was not able to tackle or challenge the BJP in Haryana. Um, the alliance in Maharashtra, uh, which was, of course, a triangular alliance, did not have the Congress doing as well as it was expected to do. So the Congress was largely held responsible for the India coalition not performing as well as it should have or could have. And leaders of the India coalition were often blaming the Congress for its leadership or lack of it. Now, the results today not only put the spotlight of attention on the Congress, they also put the attention on the Aam Aadmi Party. And while statistically it can be argued that if the AAP and the Congress were together, maybe the performance would have been better. But let's remember, electoral coalitions are not just about one and one plus one becoming two. It's
True.
not just that you add the AAP votes and the Congress votes and say, therefore, they could have won X more seats. I don't think it is that simplistic. Alliances are much more than simple mathematical additions. And given the bad blood that we have being spewed by both AAP leaders and Congress leaders against each other, it's difficult to see a type of meeting of minds between them. So I think the India coalition has to seriously rework, before even I say strategy, rework ways to ensure its existence, and then you can talk in terms of a strategy. Because if the parties we are talking about as part of the India coalition are to challenge the NDA, they need to get their act together. Let's remember what Omar Abdullah has said today, where he has said, continue to fight, we'll continue to get the type of results we are getting. And the strategy that Omar Abdullah himself is adopting in Jammu and Kashmir, where he's saying, I don't want to adopt a confrontation with the center, because it serves the interests of Jammu and Kashmir to be able to work in coordination with the center. So these dynamics, these compulsions, these contradictions are something that the India coalition will need to deal with. It's not just about leadership. It's basically about the meeting of minds, they're being able to settle their differences. They're being able to arrive at certain minimum agreements. Unless that happens, I don't think the India coalition, besides the fact of its name, would have anything to really stay together.
The Federal and City Union Bank jointly present the Tanjavur Marathon 2025 on Sunday, February 23. This event is powered by Sri Kamachi Medical Center and Anandam Silks and organized by Tanjavur District Athletics Association.